Meanwhile, fresh war clouds are looming over Europe too. Russia could launch a new military operation soon. Threats are being issued. People are receiving bomb threats almost every day. And I'm not talking about Ukraine. I'm talking about its neighbor, Moldova. Since the war began in Ukraine, Moldova has been worried. It fears that Russian troops could march into their country, and this threat was ignited by a leak. Belarusian leader and Putin's ally, Alexander Lukashenko, had committed a blunder. He accidentally revealed what looked like Moscow's plans for the Ukraine war.
Атомная станция – это страшнее ядерного оружия. Торрент-2, которые мы новые закупили, называют точки. Они, наверное, не секретные для натовцев, они все видят. Мы поставим С-400, который будет находиться чуть западнее Минска. Тысячи раненых прибыли в Гомель. Кричат наши беглые и прочее. Атомная станция.
Now let's look at that video closely. What is Lukashenko pointing at? It shows Ukraine divided into 4 regions. That is the obvious part. Now let's freeze that frame. What else is on that map? If you look carefully, you'll see Moldova. And this is from the month of March. So according to this map, more than 4 months back, Russia could have been thinking about invading Moldova, to take Odessa in Ukraine first, and from there launch an invasion into Moldova. Is this about to happen now? Russian forces are barely 45 kilometers west of Odessa, and Moldova is afraid. Its deputy prime minister says its country could be dragged into Russia's war. His name is Oleg Serebryan, and I have a statement with me. This is the deputy prime minister of Moldova. He says, the war in Ukraine means we worry that this is not simply a declaration, but a kind of prelude to an operation in Moldova. We will do anything to avoid military confrontation, but it does not 100% depend on Chisinau. Chisinau is the capital of Moldova. The Russian threat is real. Through the summer, Moldova has received more than 100 bomb threats. You heard that right. More than 100 bomb threats. Almost all important landmarks were targeted. An international airport, the parliament and government buildings, the Supreme Court of Moldova, commercial centers, hospitals, even churches around the country. Thankfully, these were all false alarms, but alarms nonetheless. Who was behind them? Moldova suspects Russia, but it has not been able to establish that. Now, why is this country a target? Moldova, you see, was earlier part of the Soviet Union. It is sandwiched between Ukraine and Romania. Moldova gained independence in 1991, but it was not a smooth transition. The collapse of the Soviet Union triggered a conflict in Moldova. Moldovans fought pro-Russian separatists in Transnistria. This is a region that runs along Moldova's border with Ukraine. Transnistria declared its independence from Moldova in 1990. It functions like a separate state. Moldovan authorities have no control over this region. But the world still recognizes this thin strip of land as a part of Moldova. Transnistria could determine the future of this country. About 500,000 people live here. Russian is the official language of the region. Russian troops are also present here. They have been since the 1990s. How many troops? At least 1,000, according to one report. And these Russian troops are called peacekeepers. So Transnistria is under Russia's grip. In the past, Moldova did try to reintegrate the region, but those efforts have failed. And now, with Ukraine under attack and the Russians advancing, Moldova is worried. It fears this breakaway region could be a launch pad for Russian forces. And it's a legitimate fear, you could say. We've already shown you Russia's alleged war plans, and we have more. And in the month of April, a Russian military commander spoke about Moldova, about how a Russian invasion of Moldova could play out. The commander suggested the operation could start in southern Ukraine. Russian forces there could create a corridor till Transnistria, and from there they could march into Moldova. That's what he suggested. Now, if that happens, how will Moldova defend itself? It doesn't have the firepower. It has a small military force, just 6,500 soldiers. They won't be able to fend off a Russian military offensive. So the only option for survival is international support. Moldova has applied to become a member of the European Union. Just like Ukraine, it has a candidate status, meaning its application is being seriously considered.
Moldova has firmly decided to move forward on the path of European integration. The candidate country status gives Moldova hope that despite the unprecedented challenges we are currently facing, we can modernize the country, and we will also have the support of the European community in this process, the European Union being the most successful peace project in our history so far.
And this might not be enough. I'll give you two reasons why. Number one, an EU membership might help the Moldovan economy, but there's no guarantee of defense support. And number two, it takes years for Brussels to admit new members. Just ask Ukraine. It has been trying for years, but it took a Russian invasion for the EU to take Ukraine seriously. Moldova needs serious support to fend off a Russian attack, and it needs it now. The question is, will the West help? The clock is ticking. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.